I collect Pokemon cards, lots of them. I do not play the trading card game. Well, at least I didn't. Over the past few months, I committed to playing 500 games of the Pokemon TCG Online. I wanted to see how it worked and exactly what would happen. And well, some stuff happened. Can a collector convert into a player? Can a collector like me even compete? Would it even be fun? All right, here's the thing. Look at this card. This is a Vivid Voltage Chonkachu, or a VMAX Pikachu, and it's fairly valuable. It's graded, it's encased, it's part of my collection now. But this isn't what Pokemon was initially created for, right? Pokemon was initially created for all the little text and like numbers and stuff playing the game. So let's go play the game. Here's one thing you should know about me. I'm a pretty competitive person, so maybe this is awesome or maybe this is not a great idea. We'll see, but let's go back in time to the beginning. I recently opened a Pokemon mystery box on this channel, but this wasn't just a regular mystery box. It was one created by two former Pokemon TCG champions who filled this box with literally a history lesson on the trading card game. And it included some incredible trophy cards from their travels and exclusives that I have never seen before, even some actual trophies. After the video was published, tons of people, myself included, wanted to learn more about playing the game. So of course, like I always do, I don't just jump right in. I ask the experts for a bit of advice.
What's up, guys? I'm Raymond Racy Cipoletti.
Ray was one of the Pokemon champions who helped create that mystery box for us.
Well, as you know, Ray, there's a lot more people who are interested in Pokemon now. A lot of people, collecting, and a lot of people wanting to get started and play the game now. Is there any room for new players?
There's always room to have new blood. I think that's something that people really underestimate. It's just a matter of whether or not you're willing to put in the hard work and the dedication. I think it's like that with literally anything.
So I'm not too old, is what you're saying?
No, no.
What tips would you have for somebody like me who's a collector? We want to get started playing. How do we do that?
Before, it would be to go to your local league and kind of learn from the people who are experienced there, or go to like a low-level tournament. But now, I think the best way is probably just to learn through watching better players on YouTube and stuff like that, and just actually download the client. Just play as many games as you can, get familiar with the cards, and then you take the next step, which is actually trying to learn things from the content that you watch.
So what's the difference between a decent player and like a great player? Like, I want to get as high up as I can get in this thing.
I think the most efficient way is to learn from people who are better than yourself. Usually, once you get to a certain level, they'll be willing to teach you more, but you have to kind of do that original footwork on your own. And then once you actually know what you're doing, you can start to make friends in the community and be like, hey, could you help me take this next step in learning the higher intricacies of the game? I could tell you what those are, but they wouldn't really mean anything.
Ray, if you start playing Pokemon again in tournaments and you and I end up facing each other, are you gonna go easy on me?
No.
Okay,
no, I play to win.
And with that, I downloaded Pokemon on my computer, fired it open, and took the tutorial. Here's a quick rundown. 2 players each with a deck of 60 cards. It has to be 60. 6 cards from your deck get put into the prize pool, and you get to draw these each time you knock out an opponent's Pokemon. There's 2 ways to win. You take all 6 of your prizes, or knock out all of your opponent's Pokemon, including the ones that are on the bench. Pokemon attack and do damage to each other based on what the card says, and a Pokemon lasts until all of its HP or hit points, sort of like health, is depleted. Beyond the Pokemon that you play with, you have item cards that can help you. You can play as many of them as you want during your turn, and they can do things like heal your Pokemon or find other cards in your deck. And then you have supporters, which can only be played once per turn, and they help you do things like, for example, Boss's Order allows you to switch your opponent's active Pokemon with one on their bench. There's a lot more to this, but that's just the super basic rundown. After the tutorial demo, I played a few more games against the computer, and I started to get the hang of things. You know, I did pause a lot to read the cards and figure out what they did, because I hadn't seen some of these before, and luckily it was just the computer, so I didn't have to worry about running out of time. Now, after I defeated all the computer opponents, I was awarded a pack of Chilling Reign. A digital pack, of course, the ones that you get when you scan a code card from a pack. And so I opened it, and they actually do the pack trick for you, and you have to click to reveal the final card or two. And in this pack, we got a Weezing. Okay, so similar luck to real life Chilling Reign for us. You lie, lady! But then I remembered, this is not about collecting. This is about playing the game. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. Code cards. I need code cards. I went into my bulk pile of cards and started searching through all of them to look for code cards that I had just happened to keep from all sets. Evolutions, Hidden Fates, Shining Fates, every single pack I've ever opened, piles and piles of code cards. And I was like, finally, what was once as useful as a chocolate teapot is now a mountain of digital Pokemon cards that I couldn't wait to open. And so of course I scanned these suckers as fast as I could. Boom, 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 like a checkout stand. And then I opened the packs, checked out my pulls, and I did so much of this that I seemed to froze the system for a bit while I was doing it. And all this opening of these digital packs, well, it didn't really teach me about the game, but more than that, it was actually a huge mistake, a real big mistake, in fact. And here's why. So yeah, this trading situation here in its current form is very strange. It uses packs as currency. So let me take you to the trading area where public offers are being made, and I'll just kind of show you what I'm talking about. So this is what it looks like right now. And if I want, for example, a Marnie for my deck, you'll see here this promo Marnie, which is being offered by this person. He wants 24 packs of a sealed Fusion Strike pack. Now, I don't have to go for the more expensive promo version. I can go for the non-promo version. So this Marnie, this person will get 12 Fusion Strike if I had them. I don't right now currently. But as you can see, this is pretty crazy. And the problem with this is, in many cases, you don't just want one of a particular card, you want multiple of a particular card to make sure you can draw that card when you're playing the game. If you only have one in the deck, it's going to be quite difficult to get. So it can get very expensive very fast with these packs. So yeah, I shouldn't have opened those packs. I will say though, this will change. This mechanic of trading will change when the Pokemon trading card game online comes out soon, which is like the newer version that's going to come out if it hasn't come out already. So yeah, that was a tough lesson, but I learned it when I wanted to build some decks. And build some decks is what I did. Here on YouTube, there are dozens of incredible YouTubers who play the Pokemon TCG and share their strategies and breakdowns of certain decks, literally listing in the description what cards go in the deck and how many to include, and then they show you the gameplay. Yes! Andrew Mahone, otherwise known as Tricky Jim on YouTube, made a video back in the day about this deck featuring Maractus, a Pokemon that I literally pulled in base set Sword and Shield before, I remember it, which has a powerful Needles attack. You flip a coin for each energy that's on this Pokemon, and it does 60 damage every time you flip heads. Normally, you're only allowed to place one energy down per turn, but if you also have cards like this one, the Porygon Z in play, check out its ability. As often as you'd like, you may attach a special energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Combo that with this Stadium card, a card that has an effect on all players in the game, and basically it allows you to reflip if you don't like what you got. So yeah, I built my deck. This was the first one that I built sort of on my own, just a little tester. I lost the first couple games, but then finally, on this game, I was set up to win. I had Maractus with 13 energies, thanks to Porygon Z, and then this happened.
You're kidding me. Okay. That's why we have this card. I want to flip again.
And that's why I was thankful for that Stadium card that allows me to respin, and thankfully the second time was much better.
There we go. There we go. 940 damage.
After a few more wins, it was at this point I started catching the bug. And I'm not talking about a Caterpie. All of my YouTube viewing hours were being poured into these YouTubers sharing their latest information about all these decks. I wanted to pick up as much information as I could and figure out which decks I should make. And then all of a sudden, within a week, this happened.
All right, yo, what's up, guys? So it has been a week. And as you might be able to see here, let me see if I can zoom in. I'm on my 99th game played, or I'm about to play my 100th. So I wanted to film this to see how it goes. I have been learning quite a bit, and I've landed on a few decks, and I just wanted to play 100 games and sort of, who knows again where this is gonna go, but I'm gonna use my deck here called Discard on Fire. Get it? Discard on Fire. Sorry, again, I gotta put in a dad joke every once in a while.
For my 100th game, I decided to play a very powerful Flareon VMAX deck that I learned about. With Flareon VMAX, when you attack, you discard 5 cards from the top of your deck, and then you do 100 damage times the number of energies you discarded. This, along with another card, Welder, this was just such a fun deck to play. I won several games with this.
I don't have anything that allows me to draw more cards, so I'm just going to max detonate again. There was like 3 or 5 or however many, 540 damage. We won. So 100 games in, let's go.
And then literally a day after my 100th win, Pokemon changed everything on me. Okay, well maybe not everything, but it kind of felt that way. You see, I spent all this time scanning QR codes and picking up packs and getting all these decks in place. It took a really long time, in fact. Once I finally had some really good decks to go with, Pokemon said, you know what? we're gonna go through a rotation. This is where Pokemon once a year will say, hey, standard play, which is sort of like normal tournament rules, these cards are no longer available in standard play, and here are the new ones like from the new sets that now take its place. In this particular case, this would mean all Sword and Shield cards are now part of standard format, and Sun and Moon and X, Y, and anything else behind it is only allowed and available if you play the expanded format. I mean, how was I supposed to know? I mean, nobody was telling me these things, and I just kind of figured it out. It was just bad timing, but you know what? As I often say, fail forward. It was at this point I found a video from another TCG PokeTuber named Zach Lesage, who talked about this Leafeon VMAX deck, which I thought was pretty cool. Plus, I'd recently pulled a Leafeon VMAX myself, and I considered it a sign. And this deck was crushing it. All of a sudden, I had a 4-game win streak with the Leafeon deck, and I couldn't be more thrilled. That was the biggest win streak I ever had. And then it was 5, and then it was 6, 7, 8 wins, and then 9 wins in a row with this Leafeon VMAX deck. And by this point, I'm now 300 games in. And here are the stats for this deck in particular. 61 wins out of 102 games, about a 60% win rate, which isn't terrible, and I'm proud of that, especially after having just started, right? And it was at this point I started to feel fluent with Pokemon, to a point where, especially with the decks that I was using and using over and over again, I didn't have to read the cards every single time. I knew what to do next, and I knew how to counter somebody else's attack. It was the first time with Pokemon that I really felt like I was on autopilot, and it just felt awesome. I also started exploring a single strike Urshifu deck, very popular in the meta, featuring Urshifu, Houndoom for an energy engine, and Umbreon. And I was playing all day and all night. At one point, I actually randomly matched up to play a person named Neon Cactus 89, which, guess what? Is the name of an awesome Pokemon YouTuber. I watch his videos all the time. He seems to get the Japanese cards before anybody else I know. And I reached out to him on Instagram just to confirm, and yeah, it really was him. We were able to connect on the TCG platform. It was at this point that I realized that playing the TCG already has been 100% worth it. I have a newfound respect for these cards that normally I would just kind of skip over to get to the rare in the back. For example, when I see a Sobble or a Drizzile or an Inteleon now, that just takes a completely different meaning for me now. And I couldn't be more thrilled for the fact that there's this whole other half of the hobby who I haven't even met yet, right? Some amazing people who play the game, and maybe I can be somebody who can help sort of be an agent to bring these two spaces together. I don't know, we're gonna see. But all I knew at this point was, hey, I just gotta play more games at this point. Now around game 350 or so, I ended up building a new deck featuring a card called Vikavolt, an electric type Pokemon card that if it does damage to your opponent, well, they can't play any items on their next turn. It really disables them, and it's kind of mean, but yeah, it was sort of effective. In the first 16 games that I played with this deck, I won 13 total games, and I rode this deck all the way to game 400. And then...
All right, it's late at night, but a big milestone coming up. Check this out. 499 games played. One more, and we'll have hit 500 games. That's a lot of games. Let's play my Zacian deck.
Now, I'm not gonna play the full match for you, but I'm gonna fast forward to the ending for you. More than 20 minutes into this single game, it was intense, a lot of back and forth. I was technically ahead by 1 at this point, but he only needed to take out 2 of my Vs, my Zacian or Zamazenta, and he was gonna win. He kept playing Cheryl, which is a trainer card that healed his Blaziken every single time I hit it, and it was getting so annoying, and my Zamazenta couldn't do enough damage at this point. So with my turn up, I needed some luck, and I had a Marnie in my hand to help me draw some more cards, and I was gonna use it. So here's how it played out.
And then we're gonna Marnie, see if we can get a switch and a metal saucer, baby. And a switch, no way. That's unbelievable, watch this. So we're gonna go metal saucer into the Zacian. We're going to switch with the Zacian, and we're going to do Brave Blade. Is that game? That's game, baby!
This was about midnight and I couldn't go to sleep. I was trying to go to bed, I was checking Twitter, and I saw this tweet from a guy named JJoshUU. At Pat Flynn, don't know if that was you I just played against on PCTGO, but GG's if it was. This was the dude I just played. I guess he saw my Pat Flynn DPM username and reached out to me on Twitter. The player community is just as cool as the collector community. I love it. So of course, I reply, dude, are you serious? That was me. And that was one of the most heart-pounding games I've played thus far. Thank you for being so nice. Also, fun fact, that was my 500th game played ever. Also, I told him that I recorded this thing for a vlog series that I'm releasing soon. And this is the first video in that vlog series. Let me know if you want to see more. I 100% plan on playing the TCG in person and maybe even some tournaments. And who knows, maybe one day I'll win my own trophy card. Then I'm gonna get it graded and then I'm gonna sell it so I can make more money and buy more Pokemon. Just kidding, I would have that thing in my hands forever. Let's go, 500 games. Look at all that damage, that doesn't matter at all. 2 days of total play time, 500 games won. Let's go. Yeah, let's do it. Also, another thing that comes to mind is, can you imagine the damage on these cards from the constant shuffling when playing the game? Can you imagine that? Well, you know me. At some point, we're not gonna have to imagine it at all.